But what are lawmakers doing? What are prosecutors doing about all of this? Joining us now, someone tackling the fentanyl crisis head on, Mike Hestrin. He is the district attorney for Riverside County in California. He has charged more than 30 suspected fentanyl suppliers with murder over the past 3 years. And just last year, his office secured the first ever guilty verdict from a jury in a fentanyl-related murder trial in California. Thanks for being here with us, Mike. I think Americans are watching this thinking, how is this the first time in California there's been a murder verdict when it comes to fentanyl? I mean, this is killing so many people. It just doesn't add up. And kudos to you, by the way, for being the first one. But how are we not getting these verdicts every week?
Because the laws in California don't support this. And what we've done here in California is we've taken laws that were used to charge drunk drivers with murder when applicable, and we've used that for fentanyl. And it applies, and the law allows it. But in California, for example, if you get convicted of a DUI, the judge will tell you, what you're doing is dangerous to human life, and you can kill someone, and you can be subsequently prosecuted for murder. Lawmakers refuse to do that in California. And so it's baffling to me. I agree with you. This is a scourge across our state. Here in Riverside County, we're suffering a crisis. Fentanyl's a crisis here. We're losing young people every day to this scourge. So we're doing what we can with the existing laws, but we're urging lawmakers to pass laws that get tough on fentanyl.
Yeah, and I just want to repeat what you said. California does not have a law that classifies a fentanyl death as murder. So you actually had to get creative to get this murder charge to go through. This wasn't easy to do. It wasn't set up for you to be able to do this.
No, that's right. And in fact, lawmakers refuse to pass what's really known as an admonition. So the example I just gave, when someone goes into court and is convicted of driving under the influence of alcohol, a judge is going to actually give them that admonition in court and tell them, hey, what you're doing is dangerous. California lawmakers refuse to do that simple act. And that would just be a simple warning, but they refuse to pass a law that would put that in the law. And it makes it difficult for prosecutors. You know, in order to prove murder for dealing fentanyl and killing someone, we have to actually prove, it's a difficult standard. We have to prove that the person that furnished the fentanyl knew the dangers, actually knew the dangers, not should have known, and consciously disregarded those dangers when they sold that fentanyl. And so it's difficult. We use circumstantial evidence, we use text messages, we use, witness statements, but the state of California does not seem to want to help us in getting justice for these victims.
So, Mike, you've been able to do this in Riverside County, California, but I mean, we see the problems all the time in San Francisco and LA. I mean, they seem even worse there when it comes to fentanyl. Why can't the prosecutors there do what you're doing?
Well, they can. And, I will say that in San Francisco, the prosecutor there, the elected district attorney there, is launching an effort to do just that in the city and county of San Francisco. So I've got to give some credit there. Los Angeles is getting crushed by fentanyl, and their district attorney just refuses. In fact, criticizes our efforts here we're pretty close to Los Angeles here in Riverside County, and we've gotten criticism. I've gotten criticism saying that this is somehow, resurrecting the old war on drugs and its failed policies. And that's all just nonsense. We're not trying to go back to the 80s or the 90s. We're trying to deal with a crisis right now that's, it's a problem that families are dealing with all across our county, and we're losing people in numbers that we've never seen before. People are dying every day because of.
Yeah, I mean, you saw in Allie's story those dads who went to the border, and I know sometimes the statistics just go in one ear and out the other, but the DEA says fentanyl is the leading cause of death for Americans age 18 to 45. I mean, I think people have to just let that sink in. You're obviously doing incredible work, Mike Hestrin. We really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.